One bright to rule 'em all, Bright is a new film brought to you by Netflix. It's directed by David Ayer, written by Max Landis, stars Will Smith, Joel Egerton, Noomi Rapace, and Ike Barinholtz. Bright takes place in a world where orcs, fairies, elves, and dragons live among us. It's modern day LA, and Smith and Egerton play officers Ward and Jacoby. We follow them in a night full of danger when they stumble upon a magic wand. Pretty soon, gangsters, police officers, and dark elves are trying to track down this magic wand while they try to keep it safe and keep a certain elf named Tika alive. Okay, here we go. People are already calling this one of the worst films of the year. No. Is it great? No. Is it good? No. But it's not one of the worst films of the year. Is it as bad as Suicide Squad? Hell no. There's a certain level in hell that's placed for Suicide Squad. Now I mentioned that because it's the same director. Now it feels like Ayer has stumbled a little bit because he came out with bangers like End of Watch and Fury. He wrote Training Day, but he seems to just want to go outside the box with his element, bring his element to a new genre, and it's just not working 100%. Now I know that they're using the idea of orcs and elves and monsters and dragons living among us to reflect the political and racial climate that we have today. But it's just so on the nose that you just have to roll your eyes every time that they bring it up. Literally every time. Right off the bat, the movie starts with lines like, "Fairy lives don't matter." Like, come on, bruh. Now, Ward doesn't 100% trust Jacoby because he's an orc. And there's a moment in the movie where he asks, "Are you a cop first or are you an orc first?" And I'm like, seriously? That's like asking Will Smith, "Are you a cop first or are you black first?" It just doesn't make sense. It comes off stupid. Now the movie gets interesting when they start world building, showing us this part of LA that we're familiar with, but with a new flair. But they really don't focus too much on that because they're all focused on the action and the peril and the magic wand and the chase scenes and all that. So you give us this world that could be interesting, but you really don't dive into it. You just get a glimpse. Elves are upper class, orcs are trash, and they have gangs and all that. That's about it. That's as much as you get. And maybe some dragons flying around in the sky. One of the other things that works interestingly well is the police procedural, and this is Ayer's element 100%. The only crutch with the world building and the police procedural is the unbelievably bad dialogue that this movie has. Now I want to say that it could be Max Landis' fault. He hasn't really had a hit since his first big movie, Chronicle. He did Victor Frankenstein and American Ultra, and those didn't go so well. So say David Ayer could have rewritten this script and Max Landis could have just gotten a story by. But at the same time, I think David Ayer did write Suicide Squad, and that dialogue in Suicide Squad was bad. Like, bad. Another big misstep in this movie is just you only focus on two characters, Ward and Jacoby. Now they have to focus on saving Tika, played by Lucy Fry, keeping her safe, but all she really does is just scream and shriek and yell and run, and there's no backstory to her. You barely get any backstory. You also get Edgar Ramirez as this elf hot on the case following them around, but all he does is wave his Orlando Bloom type hair and just walk around. And then there's a villain, played by Noomi Rapace. She's so forgettable, I don't even remember her name, her character's name. She's almost like the Terminator because she just pops up behind them and just tries to kill them, they get away, so on it goes. And it leads to a climax that gives her a little bit of backstory, but it's too little too late, people. What a waste of Noomi Rapace because she's an amazing actress. Now what keeps this movie engaging? Of course, our lead characters, Will Smith and Joel Egerton. Will Smith plays this gritty veteran cop. He's just 5 years away from his retirement and he just wants to get out. He doesn't fully trust Jacoby because he got himself shot and Jacoby didn't have his back. He's very world weary. You can tell that he doesn't really trust anybody at all, and he's just fed up with everyone's shit. Saying Will Smith is good in this is an obvious no-brainer. I mean, he makes the best out of shit situations all the time. He's still as charismatic as ever, and you can see him doing a rated R movie. As a matter of fact, you really wonder why he didn't take Django, but he'll take this movie. Oh, and he cusses a lot. He cusses a lot. Like the Will Smith in iRobot who was always on Shia LaBeouf's ass trying to tell him to stop cussing would be very disappointed in this Will Smith. But the real bright spot, no pun intended, comes from Joel Egerton. He's the best character in this movie. There is a naive touch to Jacoby that you just find endearing, and their chemistry worked pretty well. Too bad that the plot tries to just muddle that down. Now everyone's saying that, yeah, pretty much this is End of Watcher Training Day meets Lord of the Rings. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the catch. So if you're interested, check it out. If not, don't. But there's really nothing truly amazing to recommend out of this movie other than maybe the leads. It's an interesting idea that I give them a lot of credit for, but they should have just rewritten and gotten really deep into the world building and the political and racial allegory to it. Is it one of the worst films of the year? God, no. I've seen a lot worse this year. But all in all, I would have to give this movie 2 out of 5 stars. Well, once again, guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you see here, click like at the bottom. Go to our SoundCloud page for our more extensive reviews. This is Ray from LiveWire, and once again, thanks for watching.